I ended my relationship because I realized that he was not going to propose by my deadline. I've been putting off making this video, but I keep getting questions, so let's just get this out the way. After being...
Wait a minute, a deadline? Fellas, a deadline is deadly for you, because what that basically means is she's stripping you of your power. She's stripping you of your masculinity. Think about how a deadline makes you feel. Now let's continue.
Being single for 8 years, I finally found somebody that I thought I wanted to start a life with. When I met him, I was completely over dating. I did not think that there was a future for me with a man anymore. He came into my life and changed all of that. I was so...
She was over dating, over it, meaning she has dater's fatigue. So this makes me wonder off the back, did she actually like the guy, or was she settling? Let's continue.
Happy in the beginning of the relationship that I actually could not talk about him without crying tears of joy. By month 3, I was making appointments with jewelers to figure out what I wanted in terms of an engagement ring. I know that I'm hard to surprise, so I wanted to be able to just give him a PDF of what I wanted and then just go let him plan the engagement whenever he was ready, and I would just say yes.
Why you did that dumb shit? He's stuck for real.
The only reservation that I had was around his career. He worked in an industry that was on my do not date list due to instability, but he seemed like he had a handle on everything, so.
The man that when she talked about him, she cried tears of joy. She broke up with him because of how he makes money. She's been single for 8 years. Success leaves clues, so does failure. Let's continue.
Oh, I was like, all right, I'm gonna give myself 1 year to see what the reality of his life is and what a life would look like with him. By the end of this year, I expect that I should be ready to say yes to a proposal, and I expect that he has proposed. Now, he knew before I did that I was somebody that he wanted to build a life with. He knew this very early on into the relationship. So for both of us, it was now no longer a matter of interpersonal connection that we needed to figure out, but logistical. Up until this point, we have lived our lives in very different ways. We have prepared for our future in very different ways, and we had very different expectations as to how we would track towards that future and what that...
Wait a minute. What she's saying is he's a man and I'm a woman. I think like this and he thinks like that. But somehow it then sounds like she wants him to come over to her side and think and act and react like she would. Ladies, is this good advice for you? Think about it. She's been single for 8 years. Let's continue.
That would look like. As time went on, I started to realize that our differences in lifestyles and life philosophies were just too different to be reconciled anytime soon. I realized that there was nothing that he could do that would make me feel comfortable saying yes to marriage with him within the year. And I realized that he was also not going to be in a place where he felt comfortable proposing within the year for the same reason. So I made the very difficult decision to end the relationship. At this age, I do not believe in sitting in a relationship that is going nowhere while wishing, waiting, and hoping for things.
At this age, let me welcome you guys to another episode of Wall Watch, where we see how women respond to hitting the wall. I often say when you deal with older women, they want to skip steps. They don't want to be girlfriend and boyfriend because they feel like that's childish or that's really like kiddyish. Like we need to get married. And I'm not saying that that's the wrong attitude to have. I'm just saying that when an older woman starts to realize that she's old, she's not going to want to be boyfriend and girlfriend. She's going to want to skip to the marriage. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to her big age, you know what? Let's let her finish. My bad, y'all.
To change so that they can go somewhere. Because the reality of the situation is if someone has lived their entire life with a certain belief or exhibiting certain behaviors, it's going to take a long time for that to change. Some people may be able to show progress faster than others. That might allow you to stay in a relationship. But if you are not seeing those changes quick enough to meet your needs, what you are actually doing is you are building a relationship with a future version of them that you hope will exist at some point in time. You are not actually invested in the relationship that you have with the person in front of you. And it is not fair to you to waste years or months of your life waiting, hoping, and wishing for them to evolve into the person you hope.
How does this woman even fix her mouth to talk about wasting time? She's been single for 8 years. Does this not mean that she has not, bent over and grabbed her ankles and some guy has, been gently massaging her hips while she's been bent over, but she's been single for 8 years? How? How can she talk about wasting time? 8 years are gone. We're talking about relationship skills. Let's continue.
For them to be, and it is not fair for them to be in a relationship with somebody who does not want the version of them that is right in front of them. People can grow and people can change, but you are building a relationship with the person that's in front of you. And if you are only in the relationship because you know or you hope that they can become what you need them to be, you shouldn't be in that relationship. I saw someone else frame this really eloquently. They said one of the questions that you should ask yourself to determine if you are in the right relationship for you is, if you met this person today, knowing everything that you know about them right now, would you be in a relationship with them? If the answer is no, you should not waste any more time with them. It does not matter how much you love each other. It does not matter how happy you make each other. If you are not accepting of everything that they are right now, and if you are not tracking towards a similar future or a shared vision of your future, you should not be together. And unfortunately, that was my case. I personally would rather end a relationship on good terms where we can both look back on it with loving eyes and happy memories than to.
Now, this sounds good when you hear a woman say, oh yeah, well, I wanted to end things on good terms. But who is it good terms for? Her? I mean, listening to her talk about relationships, it sounds like it's all about her. Do you realize what that means, fellas? What that means is you're not going to be happy. You are going to be miserable. Listen, for the women who actually are watching this channel, my question is, does this woman have the results that you're actually looking for? When it comes to dating and marriage, let me go ahead and tell you guys, I've been married, I've been divorced, I have 2 children. What this woman is telling you will keep you single. She's already let you know she's been single for 8 years. The reason I'm emphasizing that is because how does she think that deadlines are now going to start to work in her favor? In fact, most men don't want to be married. Most men just want to beat the brakes off of a woman. Now, let me go ahead and refer you guys to a video I just did about soulmates. Let me summarize it though, but the link to that video is in the description under this video. Now, soulmates, I'm summarizing this. You will be looking for your soulmate forever. Now, here's the crazy thing about a soulmate. A soulmate can be a friend, a family member, or a mentor. Now, if it's a romantic soulmate, you could have already met that soulmate and decided that this person wasn't the person for you, even though they were your soulmate, which means you're back to searching forever. Then here's the other part. You could meet the soulmate too late when you're married and have children. Why am I bringing this up? The reason I'm bringing this up is because it sounds like this is where her mind is. Now, I also believe that she's in a silent competition with friends and family. Maybe a whole bunch of people she's surrounded by have already been married, which means she's tired of being, or she does not want to be, the woman who's not married. She doesn't want to be the woman who's looked at as not having it together. Because everybody else is married, why is she not married? Is she the problem? Well, I can tell you it sounds like she is definitely the problem, just like this woman did this man a favor. Deadlines do not work in your favor, fellas. Let me ask you this. What happens to you when you're trying to deal with a deadline? You got something that you have to get done and the deadline is here. What's happening? You're panicking, you're stressed, you're annoyed, you're easily irritated, right? Like you're flustered. You're trying to figure out, okay, what to do and how to do it. Guess what? If you meet her at this deadline, You don't even know how many more deadlines she has for you to get things done the way she wants things done. Here's the crazy part about life. Life does not just revolve around women. Relationships does not just revolve around one person. It requires teamwork. To me, she doesn't sound like a team player. She's worried about how this person is making money because of instability. Okay, you know what? That sounds legit. But people pivot throughout life. What you started off doing, you may not be doing in the next 10 years. What you've done for 15 to 20 years, you may spend the end of your life doing something completely different. This is why it is important for you to have somebody that is happy with you, that is willing to deal with whatever comes with you. Here's the most important thing that I tell women who say that they want to be married. If you cannot deal with everything, you are not ready to be married. And you should not be married because you're going to have to deal with everything. What do I mean by everything? Everything means when people pass away, how does that affect you? Because it's going to change you, whether positively or whether it's a negative reaction. You are going to change. And I'm talking about the people that you actually love, right? Because one thing that I can see that she's doing is wasting time. The fact that she said, oh, I'm not gonna, I'm gonna give him a year. And I see that, he doesn't really seem like he was ready. This was a man that she cried tears of joy about. How does she go from crying tears of joy to saying how much that they just do not work and their lives are just so different? Like her life philosophy versus his philosophy is just too different. I'm not trying to tell you that it's not different, but it just sounded like she was talking about the way a man thinks versus the way a woman thinks. Now, let me say this. This woman is attractive enough to where she should not be single. She's attractive enough to where she should and could be married, but her attitude is the thing that's getting in the way. And she is a perfect example of a woman that you cannot please. In fact, the word we should use is impossible. It is impossible to please this woman because it's just going to keep changing on you. Now, because I've been married, I understand and I realize this. When you accomplish this goal, in other words, when you meet this deadline, guess what? There's about 3 to 10 more deadlines that she's going to already have set up for you to meet. Her talking about giving you a PDF because she's hard to surprise. No, she's not hard to surprise. She's just one of those women who wants to be in control. If she's in control, you have no power as a man, and you will eventually get tired of that. This is why I keep saying, fellas, focus on yourself, because when you have the money coming in, her talking about instability is not even going to matter because you have the money. So stability is what it needs to be, right? This is why I'm saying, make sure you're investing your money in things that actually give you a return. Will this woman give you a return? I don't know. But if she's talking about instability, it's probably because she's trying to keep up with other people. But you know what? I got a question for you. What do you think? Is her dating strategy actually going to work? And who is this dating strategy going to work for? She's been single for 8 years. Comment your thoughts under this video. Now, I want you guys to check out the next video. If you like this video, you're going to love the next one. See you on the next video. Peace.